Hello and welcome. Thanks for clicking on. Well, for centuries people have been asking, how was this done? Many sources still insist that the stones were made to this shape and sat in place either by means of chisels or wires and sand or one form or another. Now, in my opinion, these weren't this shape or these shapes until they were put in place, and by virtue of the fact of being put in place, that's how they got their shape. Here, on a much smaller scale, but with a very similar result, we see similar shapes, tight joints, and complex shapes. Yep. Interesting. In this example, all these pieces of Play-Doh were roughly spherical, or I could say oblate spheroids or slightly pear-shaped, but they were roughly round, and despite the fact being round, they ended up with straight edges. Again, this is on a very small scale, 3 inches. So here we have a more regular example. What I noticed about this is there are a number of telltale signs that they were put in when they were put in place. They were soft. These anomalies like air, excuse me, air pockets, and you will often see other bits of different types of stone stuck in the face or just under the surface, little folds and the like. But what struck me was that many of these stones, they're not rectangular or square, that they are polygons, often six-sided, with the two top sides rising up to the joint above, or conversely the bottom two sides going down to downwards to the joint below. You can see it again here more clearly, up, down, and here these stones up, down, so they're 8-sided rather than being square. And when I cut the Play-Doh into roughly equal size cubes and squished them together, up, down, down, down. Okay. And then for more complex pieces, here we can see a lot of surface anomalies, and I think they were, whatever substance they were using, there were either air pockets in it or larger pieces of material that have since popped out. But to make these more complex forms was simply a matter of cutting the pieces to shape and then squeezing them together. Again, on a very small scale, it's hard to replicate, but the result is pretty similar. Here with this tiny stone about the size of, I suppose, about the size of somebody's thumbnail, it would be extremely difficult to do with hammer and chisel on hard stone. Yet with soft material, was very easy to replicate. And just to point out that this kind of stonework was not unique to South America. It has been found pretty much all over the world, in the States, in Europe, in Japan, and here on Easter Island, famous for its statues. This wall behind, very same sort of soft stone put together, same technique. So yeah, sorry, don't know why that slide was there, but there you go. Here we can see that the joints on the lower part of this wall are all as, you can't get a razor blade in there, whereas on top they're more, if you like, gaping joints. I think this may have been because the particular mix that was used here wasn't as soft as they liked it to be, but there was enough weight on top to squeeze these joints nice and tight, and not enough weight up here to squeeze them together. Just bear with me. Here's a very similar wall, and all the joints are tight right up to the top, and I think that this is because the mixture was softer and the joints sort of formed under their own weight. So that's my thinking on how this stonework was achieved, that the material was soft beforehand. There were different techniques used in different parts of the world, but the idea of hammers and chisels and a lot of time has to be scrapped. So thank you for tuning in, and I might go into this in more detail in the future. There are some stunning examples of what is known as polygonal stonework. Lovely to look at, very interesting. Have a look at it. Yeah, thanks again, and talk to you soon. Bye.